Hello everybody, Ritz Blues here. Just going over my new Let's Play of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I decided to play through the game thanks to the request of my wife's best friend. Thanks to her for her post on Facebook. So Sonic 2. When I grew up, I was one of those Nintendo kids, and my good friend Michael grew up with a Sega Genesis, and I remember loving playing Sonic on his Sega. A few other games too, but I never really owned a Sega. So this is my chance to get caught up on it, and just remember what I can about playing it. I mean, I remember a lot about it because I did play it for a period of time when my grandfather died. That's how I measure time, as life events and video games together. So here we are, 50 rings, time to try the first special stage to get the Chaos Emeralds. So Sonic 2 is the first Sonic game to feature Miles Tails Prower the Fox. It also featured a unique special stage for trying to get the Chaos Emeralds. So the objective with the Sonic 2 special stage is to collect all the rings you can before you get to the next goalpost, which, as you see, I completely failed. If you succeed in getting it to the first checkpoint, a second checkpoint will appear with a higher number, and so on, until you finally get enough rings to get the Chaos Emerald. So anyway, measuring time with video game systems. When I was preteen, my grandfather died, and in order to handle that, my family visited his house very quickly, and I left behind my video game system. And my parent wants to have to struggle with a kid who doesn't understand death, especially when they don't have their video game system to keep them distracted. So we went to Blockbuster and we rented a Sega Genesis, and this was the game that came with it. And I played it for hours, and when important things were going on, I'd play it muted, but I didn't care. It was a fun game to play. Great graphics, difficult platforming. Not your standard Mario platformer. This had curves and hills, and, well, it moved so fast that oftentimes, and even still today, I find it difficult for me to anticipate what's coming up. And I think, really, you only can be good at this game through memorization, or save state abuse, or just sheer reflexes. Alright, so let's try this again. So here's our second attempt at the special stage, and every time you finish a special stage, win or lose, you come out of it with 0 rings. So if you want to try again, you gotta collect 50 again. Alright, 40 down, next 80. So yeah, as you can see, you can run on any side of the half pipe here, and even for a brief period of time you can pop up on the ceiling, and those are bombs. So you want to collect the rings, you want to avoid the bombs. Sonic and Tails each can collect rings, they each can hit bombs. Woohoo! Nice, 140, and I've already got 100. So if you get hit by the bombs, you lose some of your rings. And if you jump, you can jump over them, you can loop over them, so you want to hit the rings and avoid the bombs. Alright, I have more than enough rings now to get the emerald. So there we are, first Chaos Emerald. Alright, so we're back down to 0. We can get a few rings before... Oh yeah. Yeah, Sonic 2 had a lot of improvements over the first Sonic. In Sonic 2, aside from getting another partner, you get the ability to do a spin dash, where you just crouch down, tap the jump button, and you'll rev up and gain a boost of speed right at the very beginning of your run, whichever way you decide to go. It's extremely helpful to get over the loop-de-loops and just bust through walls, or just rip through levels. The physics in this game are incredible. You can run on walls, break through walls. It really is a revolutionary platformer game. It's very iconic. And it always seems that no matter how fast Tails tries to run, Sonic inevitably loses him. But it doesn't matter how far Sonic gets ahead of him, because Tails will always reappear flying behind him. It's actually kind of funny because Dorkly made a hilarious video that featured the properties of Tails in cooperative games as a joke. Alright, let's get that gold post. There we go. Alright, let's do the next Chaos Emerald. So, in the Sonic series, there's always 7 Chaos Emeralds to collect. I think that's correct. I'm not sure if it's true of the first Sonic, but definitely the second and beyond had 7 to collect. Each new special stage is still the same rules that apply, but the challenge is more difficult. The level is more hectic, and the rings are more tricky to find, and the bombs become more difficult to predict. So you factor all that together, so you can even get them up on the ceiling by flipping over. You factor those things all together, and it's a very tricky thing to do correctly. Having Tails with you during this special stage is kind of a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, he's collecting a few rings that I miss. He's gotten 14 so far, and you know, it may or make or break you depending on how many he picks up that you don't. Unfortunately, he also moves slower than you do side to side, so I dodged those bombs and he totally just train wrecked right through them. Alright, getting close. We have enough rings, I just have to hold out and get to the end of the stage. Alright, that's 2. Every time you break 50,000 score in Sonic 2, you get an extra life. It doesn't matter if it's through rings or if it's through score points, speed of completion of levels, other bonuses. 50,000, free life. Now if you get 100 rings instead of just 50, you can get an extra life right then and there immediately upon doing it. Ooh, there we go. So the stars make you invulnerable, make that awesome music play, you run super fast, nothing can hurt you, well, except for instant kills like lava and spikes, not spikes, getting crushed. Alright, so here's the boss of the first stage. Here's Dr. Robotnik. He's in every game. He never really walks around anywhere. He's always hovering around in that dome of his and putting in some contraption to attack you. This is the obligatory first boss fight, which is ridiculously easy. He goes back and forth trying to hit you. I guess it's really just designed to teach you how to fight a boss. And at the end of every stage, we have this nice capsule to release all the animals that somehow power robots. Alright, so there's Green Hill Zone, Acts 1 and 2. Next episode, we're going to go through the Chemical Plant Zone. Thanks for watching. This is Ritz Plews, and I will see you next time.